Hello everybody, let's talk about lessons I learned by having a minimalist wardrobe. So this is my wardrobe. These are all the clothes that I'm not wearing, that are not outerwear or underwear, and of course these are also not shoes. But that's it. And of course it has not always been that way, and of course it will change in the future, but the number I think will not really change. So let's talk about this. So 5.5 years ago I started decluttering all of my things because I moved abroad, and I also started decluttering my wardrobe. And since about 5 years I would say I had a minimalist wardrobe. First I was just curious, thought it was a great experiment, wanted to know how far I could go, but more and more I fell in love with the concept of having a very versatile capsule wardrobe, an extreme minimalist wardrobe over time, and now I'm ended up with that very small 4-season wardrobe that I use here in Germany for all 4 seasons. Now let's talk about the lessons I have learned by living with this very small wardrobe for the past years. And one of them is a question I think people ask me sometimes, and a question that is asked a lot in general when it comes to minimalist wardrobes. And that is, what do people think if you wear the same thing all the time? Because of course, if I have such a small wardrobe, I have to wear things on a regular basis. And I can tell you, people do not care. Most of them do not realize that I'm wearing the same thing all the time. And if they do not ask, or if they ask, I explain them why I have a minimalist wardrobe, and most of them completely understand. Most of them understand that it is easier if you have less clothes, that there's no sense in keeping clothes that you don't wear, and yeah, that a minimalist wardrobe is a concept that works. So I can say most of the people do not realize that I'm wearing the same things all the time, and if they do, I haven't had problems with that side of it. The second lesson I learned, or the second thing I learned, is that it is such an amazing feeling to be able to just pack everything up and go on vacation, and if I want, I can take my complete wardrobe. If I want, I can take everything, and the whole thought of, oh, maybe I forgot something, cannot even exist because I took everything I own when it comes to clothes. And so that is an amazing feeling, and I wished I knew that before I had a minimalist wardrobe. Then I would have had a minimalist wardrobe a lot sooner, I think, because it's just so amazing to be able to take whatever you want. Like, my backpack can't even get super full because I do not have the clothes to make it super full. So it's amazing to be able to pack all the clothing pieces I want for a vacation, for traveling, or for wherever I want to go. The third thing I learned is that I actually need very little clothes. Of course, before I had a minimalist wardrobe, I had like 10 pairs of jeans, and I did not think that I had like too many jeans. I thought, well, I need a pair of skinny jeans, a pair of like flared jeans, a pair of light wash jeans, a pair of black jeans, a pair of black jeans that has that different thing, a pair of blue jeans that has stretch, a pair of jeans with holes, a pair of jeans that has a different cut in that kind of sense. And now I realize like there is no need for 10 pairs of jeans in my life. Now, of course, you do you. If you have 10 pairs of jeans and you love them all and wear them all, then that's perfectly fine. And if you don't, it's still your decision to keep all of them and to do with your jeans whatever you want. But I realized for myself that I actually don't need that many. To be completely honest, I have 1 pair of jeans because I don't really need more. I also have linen pants that I'm wearing right now. I have a pair of sweatpants, and I have a pair of shorts for summer, and that's all I need. Of course, that's like the minimum. Like, I could not get even more minimal, I think, because then it would not work out anymore. But I just realized that at least like that 10 pairs of jeans or 20 t-shirts is absolutely not necessary for me. And that's a good feeling to know that never in my life I will need such an amount of a single piece of clothing item, because I know that just a few items will be enough for me. Of course, it could happen that I add maybe 1 or 2 items, 1 or 2 pair of pants, 1 or 2 shirts, 1 or 2 sweaters to my wardrobe again, because I feel like my laundry situation is different. I do more sports, I need more different outfits. That could happen, but I don't think that I will ever go back to owning like a huge several door big wardrobe or a walk-in closet, but that's not really a thing here in Germany, so I don't think I would ever have that if I live here. But I just know that I will have a minimalist wardrobe, I think, for the rest of my life, because I never need that amount of clothes I had before again. And the amount of clothes I had before is like 150 pieces, which is not that much. Fourth thing is an interesting one, and that is the less pieces I had, the less I had the feeling of like having nothing to wear. So it's the complete opposite of what you would think. The more clothing items I had, the more often I would feel like I have nothing to wear, nothing fits the occasion, I need a specific thing that I don't have, everything is bad, I don't want to wear any of these pieces. Like the more I decluttered and the more I like really thought about which items I want to have in my wardrobe and which items I do not want to have in my wardrobe, the more I was like able to just get dressed in the morning, the less I had to think about my clothes and the less stress and worries and having nothing to wear I experienced with my wardrobe. So that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that can maybe encourage people to declutter their wardrobe and getting very clear of what they need in their wardrobe, because it makes life a lot easier, in my opinion. The fifth thing I learned is that pieces that are commonly known as essentials for every wardrobe are not that important for me. Like, I do not own a white shirt. I do not even own a blue jeans because I only own a black pair. I do not own a belt. I do not own high heels. And I link you the video where I talk about a lot of different things in my wardrobe that I do not own. But I just learned for myself that things that are considered to be essential for other people do not necessarily need to be in my wardrobe. I have to take a close look at my life. What do I need in my everyday and other like occasions life, and I need to have these things in my wardrobe, and I do not need to have things that other people consider essential. And so I decluttered all of the things that my mom used to say, like, oh, you have to keep that because everybody needs a white t-shirt. No, I don't. And I totally understand where that thought is coming from, like being prepared for every occasion. But if we take a close look and monitor what we actually wear and need, we can really easily get rid of the things that we don't actually need and just keep because we think we need to keep them. Now, the sixth thing is something contrary to the first point. I said people don't care about what you wear, and that is true. If somebody sees me wearing something, I rarely or like kind of never get a comment of like, haven't you worn that a lot of times recently? But what I want to say now is that some people get offended when I talk about my minimalist wardrobe. And that firstly happened on Facebook. Sometimes it happens on YouTube here as well, like very rarely. But some people feel offended because I don't need that many things. They think I'm dirty and stinky and not a woman and things like that just because I choose to have less pieces. And that seems so ridiculous. I would not have thought about that before I had a minimalist wardrobe. And it doesn't bother me too much because I think like, oh, you just don't have an idea. You can't smell me. Like, I know how I smell, and I know that I wash my clothes whenever they smell bad or get dirty. And you just do not know how my life is and what works for me. And the first point I mentioned proves my point, because I don't experience people in my real life having problems with how I dress. And so people that get offended over my choice of clothing items, maybe it's just because it seems so different from their way of handling their wardrobe. But I think that's okay. And if that's how they feel, like, that says more about them than about me. And you, of course, like, I do not never want to say that you have to have the same wardrobe as I have, that you even have to have a minimalist wardrobe of any kind. That is just how I handle it, and some people find it inspiring. And if not, then of course have the wardrobe that makes you happy, because that's the best thing you can do with your wardrobe. Have something that serves you, that makes you happy, that has all the clothes in it that you need. And so I just don't understand why people would get offended, but sometimes they do. The seventh thing is that the less pieces I have, the better the quality must be. And not only the quality, but also the perfection of the piece itself. So let me explain. By having less pieces, I wear my pieces more frequently, so they are worn out a lot more, like a lot faster. But that's normal, and that's okay. Like, we all like use the same or wear down the same amount of pieces, but if you have 100 pieces, it maybe takes you 10 years. If you have 10 pieces, it takes you 1 year. So that could totally happen. But I just try to have good quality pieces so they don't just break after a few washes. But the other thing is really that I do never get items anymore that I think like, yeah, it's okay, it's kind of cute, I might be able to wear it once or twice a year. No, the items that I invite into my wardrobe have to be perfect enough that I'm willing to wear them at least once a week, because I do laundry about once a week and almost everything gets dirty over the course of 1 week. So I need to be able to wear each individual thing about once a week. Now, of course, that does not always happen. And of course, I have pieces that I love even more than other pieces, but I try to make sure that all the pieces I have in my wardrobe are highly functional, comfortable, exactly what I need them to be, and are just like very practical pieces for me, so that I can wear them a lot and that I do not have to take special care, that I am not like very like, oh, I don't know, I don't think it looks good on me. I want to have pieces that work for what I need them to work. And the less pieces I have, the more important that gets. And that makes sense, because I think all of us have to have at least like a minimalist wardrobe of good pieces, even though maybe a lot of us have more additional pieces that we don't like to wear that much, that we just wear a few times a year, that we wear to special occasions because we can't really wear them in our normal life. So I try to make sure that all of my pieces can be worn all the time. So the next point is that a minimalist wardrobe really helped me to find my style. By limiting my pieces, by thinking about what I really want to wear all the time, I figured out what the things are that I like to wear. And so I figured out what the things are that I want to have in my wardrobe, which finally makes my style. And I try to have pieces that I can combine in the way that I think looks good on me and that I think is okay. So of course, style is always up to every individual person to define what is a good style and not a good style. But I have found what I want to wear. I know the pieces that I want to wear. I know when I see them in a store, like I just know the pieces that I like and use. And that is very valuable when I want to add a new piece to my wardrobe. I can already kind of know how much I will use it. And learning that, it also happened that I decluttered like high heels out of my wardrobe. I won't buy new high heels because I don't enjoy wearing them. And I don't have any skirts or dresses. Maybe I'll one day add dresses and skirts into my wardrobe again. But for now, I don't think they are practical enough for me. I don't like wearing them enough that I would have them in my extreme minimalist wardrobe. The ninth thing I learned is, even though I define my wardrobe as a minimalist wardrobe, and minimalist wardrobe is like a search term, minimalist wardrobe means something, is a label, there are so many different approaches to a minimalist wardrobe. So even though minimalist wardrobes maybe have in common that we have less pieces than other people have in their wardrobe, but I learned that there are so many different approaches. There is this like 10 by 10 challenge where you have 10 pieces for 10 days, but maybe you have other pieces in your general wardrobe. There is the project 333, 33 pieces for 3 months. And again, maybe you have other pieces because you make only a seasonal wardrobe. There is the approach to have a personal uniform where you maybe have 10 of each piece, which is a lot, I think. But you have only the same t-shirt, the same pair of pants, the same sweater or something like that. So you always wear the same thing, which is very minimalist in another way. And so there are just so many different approaches to a minimalist wardrobe, and there are just, so many different minimalist wardrobes, which all of them should be good for the person who owns them. So every minimalist wardrobe looks different because our lives look different, and I think that's totally fine. We can have totally different color palettes, can have totally different materials, cuts, numbers of pieces in our wardrobe, as long as they serve our life, as long as they are good for what we need them to do for us. And so that's the ninth thing I learned, that minimalist wardrobe means something, like we think about something, but it can be so many different things, and that's totally okay. And then the final 10th thing I learned is that it is a journey. And I've said that in many of my videos, but I really mean that, and I think it's very important. When I first decluttered my wardrobe, I thought like, now I have like 55 pieces, I'm totally happy with it. I cannot imagine having it differently. Then I decluttered again, had 45 pieces maybe. And then I thought, that's the pieces I want to keep. Then I wanted to change something, had different amounts of pieces. I even sometimes added more pieces to my wardrobe again and then decluttered again. Once I had 4 t-shirts, said, it's not enough, added 2 more to my wardrobe. Then I had 6, then I decluttered some again. So it is a journey, and it will change because our lives change, and that's totally fine as well. So I don't think we should judge people because of the number of pieces they have, because of the way they look at their wardrobe, because we all evolve. Nothing is the final result. So it could happen that now with my super tiny extreme minimalist wardrobe, in a few years I say like, wow, no, that's like too stressful, whatever for me. I want to have more pieces again. It could happen, and maybe it will happen, and we will see, because hopefully I will still make YouTube videos about my wardrobe then. And so I think it is totally fine if things change. You should never think that just because you decluttered now, or just because one person said they only need 20 pieces, that is going to be the case forever. And if it is, it's good for them if they have found a solution that works for them. If you want to check out my playlist where I talk and show you and just everything about my extreme minimalist wardrobe, I will link it up here for you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because that really helps with the algorithm. So let me know what the things are that you have learned from your wardrobe, the goals for your wardrobe maybe, or anything else you want to let me know down below in the comments. I will be happy to read them. If you want to watch more videos right now, I link you a video and a playlist right here, so you can check these out. And I also hope to see you next time. Bye!